Sorry about that. Anyway, oh man, Fugees beef. What Jay Z say? And then the Fugees break up. Now every day I wake up, man, this sucks. So scroll over all the way to not all the way to the right. I think go third to last or second to last. Let me look at this. Um, yeah, I guess we'll just okay. Go to the last one or the first one. Depending on how you look at it. So we came on here and talked about Lauryn Hill. Salute to Lauryn Hill. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care if she comes out and says, "Hey, y'all should be happy, even if I'm late to a concert." I'm always gonna give her respect because she dropped one of the most classic albums of all times. And anybody that makes X Factor is going has the right to be late. Now, do they have the right to cancel shows abruptly when they're doing a reunion tour? That might be a big different story. But yes, it absolutely did go out a little while ago that the Foodies were doing a reunion tour, and obviously, the Foodies tour that's big, big. Like that's something even maybe I would have some level of interest in. Lauryn Hill, um, you know, Praz, the Fugees, Wyclef would be a part of it. That's a show that that people can really get on board with. But not soon after it was announced, it was abruptly canceled. Oh, actually, no, sorry, not after it was announced. It was even it says right here, 3 days before the first tour date. Man, imagine you order your tickets, you're hyped for a show, you get maybe has that happened to y'all actually? I'm talking about like it's an example. Have y'all ever got the shows canceled right close to the day of the show?
I have not, thankfully.
Fair enough. Well, I think we can all still imagine how pissed we would all be, especially with ours that you're really looking forward to. So, following that, we had a message from Lauren Hill. Go to the left, and Lauren Hill released a statement. Just one, just take it slow. Lauren Hill released a statement after the Fuji 2024 tour was canceled. We'll be back in full force. And I think there was a whole statement that Lauren Hill put out. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't like to delay things. I like to make sure we have everything here. So my apologies. What did Lauren Hill say about this? Yes, Lauren. This was August 7th. According to Variety, Lauren Hill says U.S. tour was called off due to low ticket sales, which she attributes to media sensationalizing of her canceled shows last year. Damn.
Mm.
There's a
She's
lot.
blaming the media for
There's a
literally 20 plus years of her being late
there's a
for
lot
shows.
to take apart of that. I mean, I don't know if we have the time to get into all that. um, uh, we digress. Maybe we'll talk more about this, but effectively, Lauren Hill said, uh, you know, this tour was canceled because there wasn't the tickets weren't moving, which I don't. They must have not had to stop close to us because even we would have maybe bumped into that. Um, and they're saying that they attribute it to the way the media portrays the fact that there was some shows getting canceled in previous years. I thought they were gonna say the shows were you guys gonna have to wait. You go to the show and you have to wait a bit. um, but that's how Lauren Hills feels. So who amongst us can say if they're wrong or right? I think we can all say they're potentially wrong. But anyway, so in the wake of this, one of the other Foodies members came out and had something to say about it. Go over to the left twice. So it came out approximately. This is Lauren Hill on a new song, and let's see what did this sound like. Now go to the right and let's hear the bars.
going on?
Bars? Question mark.
Is
Forgive me.
it playing? Oh, it was paused.
Chest best protect your neck. Aiming guns in all your pics, you don't pose a threat. Still waiting for me to lose, don't hold your breath. They took a bite out of Zambezi, I control the rest. Don't blame me, blame her, she made the mess. Not another fucking penny's what I told Clef. Trotting the globe with the bros, playing dominoes. We get it done where I'm from, it's more cons than pros. Obama name and the discoveries had to plead the fifth.
Oh, okay.
Is that all?
That was the part where he was taking, quote unquote, taking shots at Lauren.
Oh,
Yeah.
before we talk about the contents of this itself, like,
Go ahead.
what was that beat, bro? Like, this is what you put the diss track on? I can hear the fucking metronome in the background, the TikTok. Like,
Well,
some
well,
jazz, literally some
I think that was
fucking 80s jazz song. Like, what the hell?
I think that was intentional, but you know.
Oh my god, bro.
So suffice to say, while we're here, you weren't really feeling the diss, the record.
I mean, besides the beat, like, that flow,
It
dog.
was non-existent.
Ooh. There's some rappers that have aged very gracefully over the years that are in their late 40s and 50s that can still get after it. I don't know if he should. Maybe it's a good thing this tour got canceled, bro. Because
Jesus, don't do that.
uh,
Don't do that.
dog, did you hear it? Did you hear that? Did you hear it?
Yes, and
Like,
we've also all heard the score. Knock it off. What about you, Ace? How those bars ring to you? You feeling it or not so much?
Definitely not so much to not at all.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair
It
enough.
sounded like your heart was in it.
Yeah, obviously, I'm being facetious. Obviously, those bars, like Ghost was saying, like the flow is just so ancient. You can hear the rust on it. It kind of reminds me a lot of Consequence, but Consequence I think has actually done a decent job in this day and age. So kind of interesting. But yeah, those he definitely. And to be fair, while we're calling those bars trash, just like the Record Club did, like which we're about to get to in a second. Maybe this was just a more of getting off your chest. Sometimes you're getting off your chest, not about coming on here and putting out a euphoria, a meet the grams. Sometimes you're just trying to like, not like us. Sometimes you're just trying to, don't blame me, blame her. It was her fault. She was kept a mess, but
nah.
she's not like the rest.
Keep it in your voice recordings, bro. You record that shit and it should never ever see the light of day if that's what he wanted to do. Cause he put that shit out for the world to hear, bro. Like,
Even though she got
that's the
us into
type of
this
thing that
mess.
you record late at night and then you wake up in the morning when you have a clear head and you're like, damn, I said good thing I didn't put this shit out because this is
I
trash.
rock
Not
with
something that
God, and
you
I
run
know
with.
this is just a test. Sorry.
Well, you failed that test because my goodness.
Anyway,
That wasn't it.
I tend to agree. When you put something out, you got to make sure. Because what is the point? What is the point of this record like this? And this is kind of, I guess, it's kind of getting to the overall question of the topic. Like, what is the point of this? Like, is he want is he want Lauren to respond to with a record of her own? Does he want her to feel sorry? Like, what is the point of some of these diss records sometimes?
I think he was just to be honest, I think he was getting it off his chest and he's just kind of pissed and putting it out for people to, I guess, if they were wondering why he got canceled, he's given some context and some explanation.
But he didn't. He just said it's her fault. Don't blame me. Blame her.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, you're right. He didn't give any explanation at all. Yeah, I think he's just vetting, to be honest. I don't know what else to say.
What about you? Do you think there's a point to this? Do you think this makes sense? Like, do you see the potential purpose of this?
Um, I mean, yeah, just Well, not really. Not, if that's all he had to say, he could have just said it. Like, and you're right. He doesn't provide any more context besides just saying blame her. So, no, no, there was really no point. More I think about it.
Well, obviously, we all know the Fugees have been at odds for years and years and years. Uh, I don't know if we were talking about it recently on here or just in general. I mean, I think it's because there's some of the City Girl shenanigans, but one of the conclusions I came to recently, hip hop groups, specifically hip hop groups, they just do not work. Like you can look at alternative rock, jazz. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not speak so highly of jazz, but alternative groups especially. You can go look at Eagles. The Eagles, they're just doing legacy tours. Metallica sticking together like grits all these years. When it comes to hip hop, it just don't work out. You can name any legacy hip hop group, Outkast, the Fugees, Wu Tang. They've reconciled a lot of things, but there was a time where Wu Tang wasn't so good. The Fat Boys. I mean, go listen to "Hardest Ain't No Love" by Jay Z. It just you can a lot of groups and it labels too. A lot of these labels that were super even like in our quote unquote era, like in the 2020 and 2010s, MMG was super tight. TDE, Good Music, like labels kind of
Our
became
future.
our future. Even like these labels became like the new like hip hop supergroups, and over time, even those don't necessarily hold up for whatever reason. Sometimes just because nothing good lasts forever, and sometimes it is because of beef or strife. And I don't
By
know.
the time
Again,
the brothers
sorry.
die, unfortunately.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, man,
Rip Pro era. Rip Steez.
man. Even the Migo situation, even though there was somewhat of a falling out beforehand,
Jeez,
like
yeah.
now that situation just never coming back the way it was. So yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of factors to why groups can break up, but I don't know. It always sucks to see, even even though we're laughing at these bars, it does suck to see these type of things. And I don't know. I mean, maybe this isn't really a specific thing that can be figured out through something like this. But I don't know. What do you guys think in general? I guess of this interaction, but in general, like, how do you handle like beefs between two people between friends, like especially when you've been really tied together for a decent level of period where you have a strong history. um like how do you handle it? Like, I don't know. What do y'all think? What do you think, Ace? Especially if you done like especially if you work together and things of that nature.
I mean, I don't really understand it. Like, I can't really imagine it, so I don't
I guess something
understand.
that I guess something that people sorry, coach. I guess something that people probably can't necessarily rationalize. I guess like the closest thing we could. Imagine you have a homeboy or a homegirl. You're super super tight with them. You've been rocking out, and let's say you have an important job to do with them. If it's a guy. Sorry, maybe I should make it sex neutral. I was gonna say if it's a guy, you're going to work on a house. If it's a woman,
What were you gonna say for the woman? I want to know.
I don't know, work on a programming task or something. Um,
Sex.
you're working. I know. My apologies. You're working on some tasks and you with your friends, and they bail out at the last minute. Like, how
Mhm.
do you how do you resolve that? Do you diss them?
Gotcha,
Yo, can you
gotcha.
imagine?
Um, well, that no, that makes sense. I mean, that's a good example. Um, yeah, I mean, uh, I don't, I definitely wouldn't diss them. I don't think I would certainly look at them in a different light as far as maybe future projects that I have in mind. Uh, and their ability to come through or pull through, especially if the reason is they not really there or is seems flimsy. Um, But I don't know. I mean, I think like any rational person would just kind of not necessarily confront them, but well, yeah, I guess that might be the best word. Confront them and see why they weren't able to show up for whatever you needed them for.
They changed their mind. The money wasn't right, so they said no. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. Then yeah, we're probably not gonna we're gonna be going our separate ways most likely if the money
Damn.
if
Damn.
Wait,
just
so
the
in
money.
this
So just like Jay Z
scenario, I
said,
want
then
you to
the fat boys break up.
substitute in like one of us, like
Here we go.
I guess it's kind of hard because like y'all are actually
Yeah,
related.
you guys are related.
Well, I guess I'm not related, so if I flake like
You're,
that, and
you're
it's like
still
really
family.
really bad, and I just kind of gave you some lackadaisical excuse, like nah, I didn't feel like it.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily think like you are basically family, so it's not even like I could in particular just completely cut you off or anything like that. Um, but you would definitely be getting clowned for it. Like I could imagine us talking about it now. Um, and then just again moving forward, it would be like if I got some project I need to do, I'm probably not gonna
Nah, but
rely on
but let's
rely
say,
on you, especially if you don't have a good reason. You just I didn't feel like it. Like come on, like, I
but if
just
it's not
can't.
if
Like
it's
I
not like if it's not another project, like if I post some stuff like this on you, and then I hit up the group chat, we doing the pod Saturday night. Are you gonna have any issues or any
no. I don't think so. No,
huh?
no. It would just purely be for whatever like major endeavors we're doing. Obviously, you've been showing up to the pod, so
And by the way,
there's
when we
no
say
reason you would I would believe you would stop, but it would
and by
be
the
for
way,
anything that
when we say
similar.
project, just to be clear, money's on the line. Like you have a customer or you have somebody.
Yeah, exactly,
Gotcha.
exactly.
So you could be cool with them outside of that, but when it comes to like business, that's where you don't rely on them as much.
I think so. I think when you bring money to an into it, and not necessarily that I I'm this money conscious guy or whatever, but there's just an aspect of like, well, even if you just didn't, you didn't feel like coming, if there's money on the line, it's like there's some level of importance to it, and also importance to importance to me. Like this has some weight to me, so it's not just I don't feel like it. It's at the point where if you say you're gonna do something, um, and you don't, like it's almost like a disrespect thing where it's like, well, yeah, you didn't feel like it, and you maybe didn't need the money or after all, but I still like it. I never said I don't need the money anymore either, so we're just good. Like you said you were gonna help me, like there's a level of disrespect there, I think so. um but yeah, I don't necessarily think it's only with money though, because if like, even if it's something you're going to work on that again doesn't require or doesn't isn't gonna money isn't gonna be the end result, there's still just like a uh I don't know, an expectation that gets built up where it could just be, well, we're gonna do this project, but we're gonna be hanging together. Like we're going to, it's time to, it's something that you can both do together.
Yeah, I know what you
That
mean.
maybe like you don't want to just work on the thing alone. You want to have somebody to there to just talk to or whatever while you're getting the thing done. So it's like even without the money, it's there can it's just like you build up a level of expectation based on a friendship that you have, and if they don't pull through with that, it's like, well, damn, like It doesn't seem like our friendship means that much if you could just flake and be like, I don't really feel like it. It implies more than just you didn't feel like it.
Yeah. Man, it definitely sucks to even imagine. What about you, Ghost? And I kind of like that framing. Let's say you got a friend, a homeboy, or a close associate that you have some level of history with. So it's not something you want to just throw away or you feel comfortable just throwing away. You got business, you got money on the line. Both people agree to the terms and just plan to go. But once that date comes around, they be like, "I'm out." How do you handle that? You making disc records?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. I can't really. Realistically, I don't see any of y'all doing this, but I'm just trying to, in my head, substitute in.
Why do you have to put a face on it? You looking for
Because
somebody to cancel.
it helps me visualize it. Huh.
You're just looking for somebody to cancel in your life.
It's hard because it's like, again, I don't really see it, but all right. Let's say this happened, and let's say it was one of y'all, because I don't feel like getting into a whole lot of crazy hypotheticals. Um, for one, I mean, after I hit, after I hit whoever up and said, what's the deal? Why'd you flake? And they said, oh, it was kind of just like the lackadaisical. I didn't feel like it, just brushing me off. Um, I mean, I definitely would be pissed, and I mean, there'd be some level of like discussion with them, like you don't respect the time and effort and all that went into this, blah blah blah. As far as like long term repercussions, it depends on the level of remorse, because
Is there anything
like
about
if we're
what we consume so far make it seem like Lauren Hill's remorseful about this?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because just tying it back into this situation, in her mind, I guess it wasn't really a situation where it was like just a last minute, oh, she didn't feel like it. I guess there was some justification in on her end, or I don't know exactly how this process went about. Like if she just did it unprompted, or if they were aware of it, they just couldn't stop it. I don't know. But if it was a situation where the other person thought that they were justified in it, and in my mind they clearly were not, and there's a big disconnect there, I guess that's one thing that might lead to like a disagreement where I don't necessarily like, I'm not like I never want to see you again, but I'm super pissed, and like if we're not seeing eye to eye and that's not happening in the near future, I don't know. I mean, eventually, I mean, there'd be some. I can foresee us rectifying it, and it's tough again when your opinions are so opposing, and both people think that they're right. But I think there is some avenue to reconciliation if one person sees the light, or if they get more context or something along those lines. So I do think there's a path back to being friends again, or being associates, whatever label you want to put on it.
So it sounds like you're saying there is a path in which there's a potential that they could apologize and repent
Yeah.
in the most lightest form. Would that have to come with actions
Um.
or not action? Would they have to rectify the situation like pay back or something like that?
No, I mean, unless this was like I lost my house and my car because I put it up as collateral and something like
Jesus.
that, and like it screwed my family or something, like, which I don't foresee. I wouldn't do that, but it would be more so like, obviously I wouldn't want to lose money, but it's just like the principle of it and the disrespect of you screw me over in this sense or this fashion. But I wouldn't like if we squash it and I felt there was sincerity, it wouldn't be something where like I was like, okay, and yeah, by the way, you got to pay me back, and it's been 62 days since this happened, and I need my back interest. It wouldn't be something like that. Like it could be appreciated if they paid me back, but it wouldn't be something I'm necessarily looking for. But if it was a situation where the person just didn't care at all, no matter how I expressed my feelings toward the situation, and they had no plans of rectifying anything, no plans of repayment. They just want to continue on as things are normal. That's when I can see like some long term, like, yeah, if this is how you are, this is how you operate, I don't really want to be around you, even outside of work or professional environment where we're associates. Because again, it's just a matter of respect and you not valuing my time or energy how you should.
And it's not like you do, but just to clarify, do you articulate that, or do you kind of just
Yeah, I mean,
ghost
that's,
them? No pun intended.
I'm definitely not going to ghost them. It'd be something that I do articulate. And I mean, if I say all this to them and they say whatever, then that's where it's like I'm not gonna
What if
be
you say that to
reaching
them,
out to
and
you.
what if they said what if it's at that level where they want to, I don't want to say play the remorseful game, but that's when the remorse comes in.
Sure. Well, it kind of depends on the sincerity. In that case, like I think if at first they didn't care, then I express it, and then they say, "Oh, actually, yeah, I'm sorry, I do care." That's where I think like some level of uh, payback is needed, like actions to show that you're actually serious, like either recouping some of the money or I don't know, they doing make some type of effort because otherwise it just comes off as like non-sincere and they're just doing this to appease me in the moment.
Fair enough. And I said, and I asked that to say, I mean, like, while it sucks, a lot of people don't necessarily have that, that level, a certain level of remorse until they like see like the real life consequences of their actions. So it's not unfathomable. Um, yeah. I think I largely agree with you, Ghost. I mean, we're all kind of saying the same thing, but I think when it comes to like close associates, like if I had a certain level of history with them, there's always gonna be room for like um reconciliation. Um, it just depends on how they go about it. I think I don't know. I always naturally kind of prepare for like people, well, certain people. We all know, and we're talking about like how we view each other. Y'all something's rule. Y'all are so reliable, dependable. If y'all ever diverted from what I know for you guys, that would be kind of weird. But in general, I kind of just like don't let like I always imagine a world in which I can, in theory, get something done if a person, um, drops out on me for whatever reason. And maybe I guess I could argue I'm like a less trusting person for it, but that's just me in general. But yeah, I think that's something that can be worked through. There definitely has to be some type of like, okay, so I mean, this will like never happen again, or like, or how do we kind of rectify it, or the situation would be. And I guess just handling beef. I think like you just talk to people, like, and it's not necessarily about, and not to that Proz didn't try to talk to Lauren, but it's not about like what the person's reaction will be. You just have to make yourself abundantly kind of clear on your position and where you stand with things. I think that's where the conversation come in. All this like playing out diss and like, I guess the equivalent for most people would be like they start going online to start talking about other people. Like, oh, that's like that typically doesn't solve things. Like, and that's what, and I don't want to get on a whole rant, but that's what I always look at. Like, what is your action? What do you want out of the action? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way in which you're gonna diss somebody and then they're going to apologize and then everything's
Yeah,
gonna be
there's
cool.
literally no positive outcome from this. The only thing that you're getting is attention from strangers to make yourself feel better, but you're not actually doing anything to solve the situation.
Yeah, and again, maybe his view is purely maybe he's fully done with Lauren, and his only purpose is to clear his name, which fine. But I like to think about what's going to be the most productive path to resolving a situation, because none of this doesn't make the tour go on. This doesn't like make people look at the Fugees in general as like we look at them in the same light. This just makes it like there's internal strife, and I might go to a show and I might get half the Fugees or one member of the Fugees. That's what this makes me look. Well, think about when I see this. So I think in general, moral of the story is basically like, you know, we're all humans here, and we're all susceptible to making mistakes, and potentially, you never know when somebody does have this type of falling out with you. I think you just have to kind of be very intentional with what you want to be the end result of whatever action may be, however you handle the issue. And typically, I would always say people should look for productive paths. Man, if you truly want to be done with that person, just do it in the most productive way. If you see some level of a path to reconciliation, then you find out the most productive way to go about that. That's how I would say in general. But I guess before we move on, I guess let's see what the Breakfast Club had to say about Praz's bars real quick. I guess go to the second to last. Or no, second to first. Sorry. I guess I could just say the second one.
Man, I know studios hate to see Praz coming without the Fugees. Like, if you're going to do a record that you know is going to end up all over the
It's on the
balls,
soundboard.
a shot at Lauren, at least make it good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that wasn't it at all.
At least make it good.
That wasn't it at all. But
That beat hard though. That beat is hard.
Because he
though.
sampled a classic record.
I know.
What was that?
That beat hard.
All right.
Well, let me get on
It's
it.
called Bar Mitzvah. That bar needs to be closed.
He had so the one bar. Whoa, the one bar. Don't blame. Well, okay, I mean it's not like it's. Don't blame me. Blame her. She made the mess. Another penny is what I told Wyclef.
I'm not spending another effing penny. That's what I told Wyclef. It ain't,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
It ain't that bad.
Well,
No.
Praz top.
Seemed like oh no, it was bad, but it seemed like they definitely like the beat, and
Charlemagne had it exactly right for once. Like I got no beef with what he was saying.
yeah, that was yeah, and most people had the same sentiment of like this was like literally a waste of studio time, which no one believes he went to a whole studio producer and engineer for this, but this is definitely at home Abletunes or whatever it's called production.
Ableton.
Abletunes. Sorry, I'm mixing stuff together. Anyway, the moral of the story is, if you're gonna make a diss record, don't do that. Please don't do that. And I'm telling you, this happens every year when like a major rap battle happens. People feel a bit more emboldened to put out diss records. I wonder if this would.
Right.
I wonder if Kendrick and Drake never happened to him, he would have felt emboldened to do it. I'm gonna be honest, but that's just kind of fan fiction theory crafting. Anyway, salute to the Fugees in general, and this is solo, but salute to Lauryn Hill. There was more to that statement that they put out. I'll put a link in the description below to the article where you can find their statement. But yeah, they went on to say like partially the reason why some of her shows from last year was canceled was because they faced an injury. They said last year I faced an injury that necessitated the rescheduling of some of my shows. Regrettably, some media outlets penchant for a sensationalism of and clickbait headlines have seemingly created a narrative that have affected the ticket sales of the North American portion of the tour. So that was what Lauryn Hill has to basically say about it. But like I said, I'll put that in the link in the description below. If there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic.